Back to the Sunday edition of the South African Morning. I'm Gareth Edwards. DA Congress coverage throughout the morning will go back to Gallagher Estate later this morning. It's been 5 years, can you believe it, since the passing of ANC stalwart Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. The party will today commemorate and celebrate the life of the mother of the nation. It's a wreath-laying ceremony that will be held in Fourways Park. That will then be followed, I understand, by a church service in Soweto. Following that for us, with the preparations underway, it looks like eNCA's Moloko Moloto. Moloko, morning to you, and it looks like everything getting underway early this morning for that wreath-laying ceremony later.
Oh, absolutely, Gareth. The preparations are certainly underway. You just said that there's going to be a wreath-laying ceremony at the Fourways Memorial Park. This is where she was laid to rest. We know that she passed on this day 5 years ago. Maybe if I were to stand out of shot and ask Sihle to show you, these are the clearly members of the ANC Women's League trying to put the chairs so that they look decent. I'm just going to ask Sihle to show you, because some of the people who are buried here, Gareth, this particular grave here of Zenawe Mandela, it seems that it was a young baby, really. My understanding is that this was the child of the granddaughter of Mama Winnie Mandela. And this big one here of Zenani Mandela, you would recall that she passed on during the 2010 FIFA World Cup ceremony that was held at the FNB Stadium. She got involved in a fatal accident. This is where she's lying. And this particular one that Sihle is showing, it is the grave of Zinzi Mandela, the daughter of Mam Winnie Mandela, who passed on, I think, in 2020 due to COVID complications. The former ambassador to Denmark, I beg pardon. And the very last one, it is the grave of the matriarch herself, Mam Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, who passed on in 2018. And today, of course, a whole number of activities lined up to remember this stalwart of South Africa's liberation struggle, the former president of the ANC Women's League. Talking of ANC Women's League and the ANC, of course, I would want to bring into this conversation Loyiso Masuku. She is the Deputy Secretary of the ANC in Johannesburg. You are hosting this particular event, Loyiso. Thank you so much for making time. Maybe if you can just tell us the main purpose you have seen it important for you as the ANC to organize this particular event today.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Moloto, and the listeners at home. Mama Winnie, as you said, a firebrand, a matriarch, a freedom fighter, would today have passed on. It's 5 years today. So in immortalizing her and remembering the sacrifices she made for us to be here today, especially for us as younger people, we appreciate her life. We think that she should continuously be remembered, and we dedicate this month to her.
Talking of remembering her sacrifices, her history really is just full of persecution. Her husband being arrested while she was still fairly young, leaving behind 2 children. And she was also arrested, I think, 5 years after Madiba was incarcerated. Just that process when she was persecuted in prison, even when she came out, her life was really never easy. Do you get a sense that South Africans are appreciating the role that she played in the liberation struggle, or it's more Madiba's wife and she possibly, they think, doesn't have her own history here in the struggle?
She has her own history. She actually held the fort in this country. There are many people who come from her hands who actually benefited from her sacrifices. The issue of being associated because of marriage is neither here nor there, because for her, she made a name. That is why it is it is telling. If you can see Moloto, there are towns named after Mama Winnie. There is a William Nicol process to rename William Nicol on the 1st of July by the city of Johannesburg, to make sure that what we spoke about of immortalizing her and appreciating her sacrifice. And there are discussions going further about making sure that liberators like herself are never forgotten.
In terms of the activities for today, take us through how the program stands and who are some of the people who are going to be. I just mentioned earlier that at some point she was the president of the ANC Women's League.
Yes, we are expecting the convener, Umamubaleka Mbete, from the Women's League. We are also expecting the leadership of the ANC in the province, the deputy chairperson, Comrade Nomantu Nkomorali Hugo. We are also expecting at a national level the Secretary General and the Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Fikile Maulula and Comrade Nomvula Mokonyane. Those are the leaders that will be here. So, and the family, most particularly the family, is the people we are hosting today, because if it wasn't for them allowing us to have Mama Winnie, we wouldn't be able to commemorate this anniversary of her death. So in this morning it will be the wreath-laying. Thereafter we will move to the church in Meadowlands. You will remember, Moloto, Mama Winnie was a staunch Methodist, and her passing 5 years ago was during the Lent period. Remember when she passed, it was the Lent period. Today is Palm Sunday, an important day as we move before the weekend of Easter. Immediately after the church service, we will then proceed to a school in Orlando West, where we are going to be with a community NGO and members of the community. Mama Winnie was very passionate about gardening. She believed that gardening and creating your own food resilience program is important. And that program is actually something that we are starting so that the community around can benefit. We're going to assist the feeding scheme in the school. It's going to assist the elderly. So it's a project and an initiative that the ANC felt important, so that in immortalizing Mama Winnie, we do what she would have ordinarily done, which is gardening and helping people with food.
Thank you so much, Loyiso Masuku, talking of immortalizing Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, the freedom fighter who passed on in 2018. And of course, Loyiso Masuku is a member of the mayoral committee in the city of Johannesburg. You might have heard there Gareth indicating that I think on the 1st of July they are going to rename William Nicol after Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. And her being a member of a mayoral committee, surely she is speaking with authority in as far as that process of renaming the William Nicol is concerned. For now, it's back to you.
Moloko Moloto, thank you very much indeed. So the preparations for the wreath laying very much underway, and the church service later in the day in Soweto, of course.